Welcome back, True Seeker. Again, the single most important thing you can learn to see through how the world of sports is scripted, like the announcers are always telling you you couldn't have scripted it any better, is this code of letters and numbers known as Gematria. For 5 years, I've been proving beyond a shadow of a doubt how professional and college sports are scripted by this code. If you're not on my Patreon, that's where we're putting out the sports content this year. This past Friday night, we took a peek at the Gonzaga Tennessee game in the Jerry Colangelo Classic, and we determined it was a really good bet to bet on Tennessee. They would improve to 7-1, as they did, and Gonzaga would fall to 9-1. And what I'm going to do is show you the relevance of this code and how it extends beyond sports. Because for those of you who don't know, I didn't realize sports were scripted by this code. I began researching this code in accordance with world affairs and news. And then through observation, I realized sports were being scripted the same way news stories were. So just look. We liked Gonzaga to fall to 9-1 in Phoenix in the Jerry Colangelo Classic because Phoenix equals 91. So does Jerry Colangelo Classic. So that had rhyme and reason. We also like Tennessee to improve to 7-1 over Gonzaga because that's been a big number historically with Gonzaga's basketball program. Gonzaga equals 71. They're a Catholic school, Catholic 71. Gonzaga Bulldogs is also 71. And notice it was a 7 seed versus a 1 seed, so you already had the 7-1 on the board. If you weren't following me, before the tournament even began where North Carolina defeated Gonzaga, I said that North Carolina would beat Gonzaga in this tournament, and I said watch 71 be the number. The bracket was set in this tournament on the 71st day of the year, and the big thing that was going on in news and sports was the bathroom bill down in the Carolinas. They took the All-Star game out of Charlotte earlier in the year over the bathroom bill. Remember, it was an argument over who could use the restroom, the men, the women, or the trannies, who was allowed to go in what bathroom. And I said, not only will North Carolina win this tournament, but just watch, Carolina teams are going to do really well. You saw South Carolina go to the Final Four, and in the women's tournament, you saw South Carolina win the tournament. Their name's the Gamecocks, but what did they call that ladies' team all throughout the tournament? It was a sick joke. They called them the Lady Cocks. You get it? With the bathroom bill, the Lady Cocks, who can use the bathroom, the men, the women, the trannies. So again, you guys keep sleeping on this knowledge. You're sleeping on the most important thing to ever cross your path, probably. And understand, this stuff goes beyond sports. You ever seen this Economist magazine cover? We predicted the horrible economic day of October 10th, 2018, which turned out to be the third worst day in market history because of this magazine cover from September 1st, 1988. Excuse me, it wasn't September 1st. It was January 9th. Excuse me. January 9th, a date that can be written 9/1. That's a phoenix right there rising out of the ashes. If you're not aware of what a phoenix is, read about it. The phoenix rises from the ashes. So you get this magazine cover from January 9th, 9/1 like 91 with the phoenix rising up. And if you read this actual magazine, look at what pages the story's on. Pages 9 through 10. Do you see the 91 in there? Like how the magazine is on 9/1? So again, these numbers, these words, when you know the code, you see how it goes from sports to news. And this is what I've been demonstrating for 5 years undeniably. You know, the only people you see criticizing me in the comments are trolls and losers. Anyone with a brain would be saying, thank you. Thank you for showing this to me. This is huge. You know, that's how this past weekend I gave I gave the people following my Patreon 3 really good picks that paid well in the NFL that all hit. Just like earlier this year, I gave people a 6-team parlay that hits. Where else can you get 16 parlays? You can't get those. They don't happen unless you know this code. But this week, what did I tell people? Said 3 really good bets. Colts over Texans. That pays well. Here's another good one that pays well. Raiders over Steelers. What's another good one? Sunday Night Football. Bears over Rams. We just saw the death of a Ram on his 112th day of his age. Why'd that matter? Because the Rams were going to fall to 11-2 in week 14. 14-112. How about with the Raiders? What was it? Raiders. They were going to become 11-5 at home against the Steelers on John Gruden's 115th day of his age. They did. And then with the Texans and the Colts, Andrew Luck played his high school ball in Houston. His father, Oliver Luck, played for the Houston Oilers. The Texans were on a 9-game winning streak that began against the Colts. A 9-game winning streak that was to come to the end on December 9th. The 9th. 9-9, like it's the 99th NFL season. 9 means completion in numerology. Show you something here. Andrew Luck High School. Why don't you see the name of his high school? His high school is Stratford, right? Stratford High School. This is where he went to high school in Houston. And Stratford High School. 99-99. A 9-game streak. Ends on the 9th in the 99th NFL season against Andrew Luck, who played his high school ball in Houston. And like I've been educated about, these guys are born and bred to be. It's a father-son league. This stuff's planned long in advance. Big rituals mapped out. So, hate all you want, you know. I never said that we get every single game perfectly, but we get a lot of big games, and all my haters, they can't deny it. Nobody's ever called more sports championships months and seasons in advance than I have in a very short period of time. I started making sports predictions in 2014. We've been stacking correct from college to pro, you know, more than anybody has ever done it in a lifetime. And the thing is, you know, when you're in your 5th year of doing something, you're good at it. But you're not too great yet. And you're just going to keep getting better, which is what this research has been every year I've educated about it. And I know Jeremy White, who has a sports channel, he put out a video on this. We did the Friday Night Live Decode. He was in the room. He put out a video because he's trying to get the word out too. He said why Tennessee was going to beat Gonzaga. And Jeremy White is somebody who learned from me in Super Bowl 50. Jeremy White won a lot of money off Super Bowl 50 because what did I tell everybody in October? Way before Super Bowl 50 was played. Broncos over Panthers. Von Miller MVP. Tribute to Super Bowl 24. Go back and look. Broncos won with 24 points. And there'd be a Black Panther tribute. You know, the Super Bowl was in the Bay Area. Cam Newton with the Black Panther on his helmet. Huey P. Newton established the Black Panthers. Plus a whole lot more. Huey P. Newton equals 58. Cam Newton became the 58th quarterback to start in the Super Bowl. I said Von Miller would be the MVP. Number 58 he was. How often do defensive players win the MVP? Almost never. So, anyway. A lot of very good picks over the years. College to pro. Told you guys all last year, Alabama was a lock to win it. It was all about 13. That was before they were down 13 points at halftime with number 13 in the game with the 13-letter name, Tua. Winning it with the 41-yard touchdown past the 13th prime. So, you want to learn more about this knowledge, you want to participate in a community of people who are working at this, improving every single week, you got to sign up for the Patreon. That way we can minimize the trolls. There's still trolls even on my Patreon. That's how bad it is. You know, a lot of people trying to hate on this work, but you can't hate on it. It's undeniable. It's undeniable. So, we'll leave it there. Till next time, Truth Seeker.